I had to mix myself a cocktail today instead of my usual coffee because I'm not looking forward to the task at hand, which is to work on these. Yeah, of course there's two, so you got to buy two of everything. These are 350 Mercruisers, and it's nice to have two motors on a boat because number one, it's easier to drive. Number two, you've got a redundancy factor because if one of these breaks down, you can use the other one to get back home. That's happened to me once or twice. But there's also another advantage. If you're suspicious that a part is bad and you're not sure, what you can do is take a part off of one motor and put it on the other because they should be identical. And if that part works on the other motor, then you know that that suspicious part was indeed bad. And today I've got that scenario. This is the heat exchanger. You can see it's got a radiator cap on it, and essentially that's what it is. You put antifreeze in there and it cools the block. Raw water goes through the other tank. You see there's two tanks there. Raw water is pumped through the other one and it cools the antifreeze. This port motor has a new one on it. This is a brand new heat exchanger. The way I got that is I took the old one off and I sent it. It took me, I think, $40 of shipping cost to get it to the place that was going to build it. And they used the specs and built me one that I could just bolt on there. Sounds good. They even took my mounting bracket and cut it off of the old one and put it on the new one. It's great. It cost me $900, not including the shipping. So anyways, I get the thing back, I put it on the motor, and it's doing the exact same thing. And what is it doing? When it runs, this reservoir up top that's supposed to have antifreeze in it fills up with raw water, and it spills out of the overflow at a pretty good rate. And you can see I've got it routed down this hatch so that it's going into the bilge. I can show you here real quick. You're going to see this fill up. Well, it's filling right now, and it'll start to overflow. There it is. You can hear some air and stuff coming. This is vibrating. It's under a lot of pressure. Look at the water coming out. Yeah, that's not cool. Turn that one off. Ooh, listen to that thing go. If I rev it up, oh boy, no. That's just awful. Now, here's what aggravates me. When I contacted the company, I told them what the symptoms were. Run the motor, and it comes out of the overflow. And their response was, yep, that's definitely the heat exchanger. So I get the new heat exchanger from them, I install it, it's doing the same exact thing. So I contact them again, and I say, well, could it be something else? Or did the part you send me maybe wind up being bad? Because it's doing the same thing. Now remember, when I told them the symptoms last time, they said, yes, it's absolutely the heat exchanger. This time when I told them, they said, well, we can't really tell over the phone what's wrong. You'd have to get a professional mechanic in to check it. Well, they knew what it was last time before they sold me one, right? So I thought to myself, what am I going to do? I'm going to hire a professional mechanic to come in here and tell me whether or not that thing's bad? Or I can take advantage of the fact that I've got two motors. Both of these heat exchangers are the same, and this one works. Let's try it out. Let that run for a bit. sound so much. Anyways, I can let this run for quite a while. I know that the overflow on this one is hooked up to this nasty bottle right here. Moldy and gross. Anyways, yeah, this one works. I let it run and run and run. Yeah, so you get the idea. What I'm thinking, I'm not looking forward to it because some of the bolts are kind of buried down in there. But if I can take this heat exchanger off and put it over there, I'll know if that one is bad. Because if it is something else, like I know underneath these risers here, there are gaskets. They help determine if it's a closed system or an open system or something. That could be the problem, but I don't know. And I need to know the answer to this question. So that's today's task, is to swap them out. We'll see. Fortunately, there's no antifreeze in here. Whew. So it's only raw water that I've got spilling all over my engine. That's disgusting. Well, this is my train of thought. I now have this heat exchanger, which I suspect is bad because of its behavior, and I've got one that works. Part of me wonders if there's something wrong with this motor that's overpressurizing this, and I ruined my brand new heat exchanger. Then I don't want to take the one that works and put it on this motor, because then if I put that one on this motor and it doesn't work, well, I might have ruined the one that I knew was good. So instead, what I'm going to do is take this heat exchanger, which I think is bad, and I'm going to put it on this motor. And if the exchanger starts dumping water all over the bilge again, just like it does over here, then I'll know there's something wrong with this and not with that. Whew. Does it look like I'm having fun yet? Because I'm not. But it's the price we pay for being boaters. Okay, now I'm going to add a little high quality H2O.
Take over here.
And then we'll crank her up. And we'll see if this one doesn't overflow, just like it does on the other motor. Part of me is really hoping that it doesn't overflow, so that I know I did not get a bad part that I spent a lot of money on. But then it means that it's my fault that I bought the wrong part. Yeah. I hate these moments of truth, you know, where you're really gonna kind of figure out what the problem is when you're afraid you don't want to know what the problem is. If this is bad, then I've got to convince the company that sold it to me that it's bad. And I really don't want to do that. All I want to do is turn the key and have it work. But I guess there'll be some consolation knowing exactly what the problem is. So again, having two motors here really helps with that. So without any more ado, let's crank this thing up. I can see a water level there. If it starts spewing, I'll know what the problem is. Well, there's plenty of raw water coming out of the exhaust. That's what it's supposed to do. That's very interesting. Well, now I'm conflicted. The reason I'm conflicted is because when I described the symptoms, how the heat exchanger was filling up and overflowing, the company that made me a new one said, absolutely, yeah, it's a heat exchanger. Just send us your old one, we'll rebuild it and make you a new one. So I did. $940 later, thereabouts, I get the new one, I put it in, and yeah, it does the same exact thing. And now I've proven that it's not the heat exchanger. So I'm happy to know that they sent me a heat exchanger that works, but I'm a little sour still because that wasn't the initial problem. And I don't even have the old one that I sent them, which is still good, obviously. Anyways, at least I figured out what it was. And I suppose today's lesson is, if you've got two motors, it helps you do detective work. Ah, crap. Now I just got to figure out why the other one is overflowing. And I'm suspicious about the gaskets that are under these elbows right here that sit atop the exhaust manifolds. I don't know what else it is. Maybe it's the this exchanger over here, although I doubt it, because that's just water coming in. And yeah. Anyways, welcome to another day in the life. And in case you were wondering, yes, I did put the old heat exchanger on the port motor, and when I start it up, water fills up this reservoir and comes spilling out just like it did the last time. I'm gonna wait a minute for it. There it is, I see it. Yep, there it is. Cap that I got from the company obviously isn't working that good as the old cap. Could just be a different pressure cap, I guess. But so it seems I was indeed sold a $900 part that I didn't need, and the mystery still remains. What part could it be? Could it be the gasket underneath the riser? That part I don't know yet. If you have an idea, leave a comment and let me know.